Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix. It is new comic book day for the week of August 7th, and we're going to get started right now. This episode brought to you by shirts, because why not? It's an awesome sales pitch. Why not have a shirt? They're right there. There's a link in the descriptions. Get them.
Hey everybody, it's Tim from Capes and Scowls, and I'm here to talk about books like I do. So let's talk about them. I got some trades first. I got a lot of young reader stuff that has come out. We got Batman, the Man Behind the Mask. We've got Batman, Funhouse of Evil. We have Batman, Catwoman's Halloween Heist. We've got Choose Your Adventure Wonder Woman titles. I've got The Crystal Quest and The Heart of Hades. These are good books for a young reader. Not super young. They aren't like Golden Book young, but young reader. So if you have someone in your life that needs to be reading that, get on it. We got Scooby-Doo Team Up. Doomed! This contains issues 37 through 43. It has a lot of fun DC team-ups as well as Hanna-Barbera team-ups. So that's always fun. We have Aquaman, Unspoken Water, hardcover. This is the new Volume 1. This is with Kelly Sue DeConnick. Really good direction for Aquaman.
So can you beat somebody to death with it?
No. You can maim them a little, but I wouldn't expect this to keep them down. We have The Walking Dead, Volume 32. This is it. This is the last one. Last issue's in here. So if you were surprised like everybody else that it ended, it's in here. You can do it now. You can read it and be done with it. We have Snow, Glass, and Apples. This is a Neil Gaiman take on Snow White. It looks awesome. I thumbed through it. It's graphic in many different ways, so, don't give it to your mom. Thief of Thieves, Volume 7. This is the series finale of this. We have Old Man Quill, which I hear is a lot of fun. We have Age of Rebellion, Star Wars Heroes. This is a bunch of those one-shots all thrown together. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Lando, Han, all kinds of fun people. All the people you expect. And last but not least, I've got Eclipse, Volume 4. I love Eclipse. Zach Kaplan, great writer. This whole series is a lot of fun, so if you didn't read it, shame on you. 4 volumes. Go pick them all up now.
All right, this week I read a lot of stuff. I read too much stuff. So yeah, some extra things that wasn't expecting to do. First up, we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer issue number 7. Trying to think if there's really a way to spoil this without really doing anything spoiled. There was something that happened to save Xander last issue, and that thing happened, and this is the aftermath, and things are going very, very badly for Willow, who was the person who fixed the problem. Wow, that is about as vague as I could possibly get with this storyline. But the writing has been solid throughout the entire way. I mean, the art is the art. I preferred the first arc, but the second arc is at least starting to grow on me. But this is a fun read. If you were a fan of the original Buffy the series, this is a new and different type take, but it's all the same characters that you did love, and it's definitely a fun read. Pick it up.
All right, first up, we have the Death-Defying Devil. Why are you smiling?
Just laughing.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Why?
I just knew that you were going to read that book.
Well, yeah, it's Gail Simone. I like Gail Simone. Hey, Gail Simone. This book's a lot of fun in that it is dark. I guess it's not fun at all. It's a very dark book with this classic character who, if you don't know, is the Death-Defying Devil. The devil. He throws boomerangs and chops off people's hands. It's not fun at all. I regret ever saying it. But he is helping a young couple in a bad neighborhood that is being assaulted by some... They're not like gang members, but it's definitely a collective of misguided youth, I guess we'll call them. And things go from bad to worse. He does not end up really winning this exchange. The people he saved take him into their home, which is like an apartment complex full of all kinds of people in bad shape. And they take him in and they heal him and they look after him. And eventually these people come back for him. So it's your basic kind of setup story. It might be a lot of fun. It is well written by Gail Simone. I like the art by Walter Giovanni, and I will say it is probably a little more violent than you would expect. But yeah, check it out.
Next up, we have House of X issue number 2. This entire episode deals with Moria McTaggart, and you find out. There's been about a decade of X-Men books that I haven't read, so I don't know if in those issues Moria was a mutant or not. But if she was not, she is now. And basically find out that she has been constantly reincarnated in the same body over and over again. And you see all of those different lives going into their inevitable ends, where she tries to fix her life and then tries to go in other different directions. And then what inevitably brings her to the beginning of the House of X series and helping Xavier bring about Krakoa. And it was actually a really interesting read. I like this series a lot. I hope Hickman is on it for a very long time. The problem with this series is when you have something as ambitious as this, when you're dealing with events that are happening 10 and 20 years in the future, 100 years in the future, you have to make sure that the artist is going to be on board for more than a year. And to have an artist or have a writer on a book for more than a year seems to be such a stretch now. This is setting up an amazing series, and I hope Hickman stays on it for a very long time to allow a lot of the ideas in this series to actually come about. So here's to hoping.
Next up, we have Berserker Unbound from Dark Horse. Yeah, Dark Horse. This is Jeff Lemire and Mike Deodato Jr. This book was nearly my pick of the week. It was very, very, very close. It feels like Conan, and I don't think that's an accident. What it is a story of a Conan-style barbarian who is traveling around the wasteland kind of area, and he's heading back to his home when he realizes he smells burned flesh in the air and he hears nobody screaming. So he is afraid for the worst. He runs to his town. It's the worst. And he sees that everyone's dead, including his wife and his little girl. So he goes into a berserker rage and tries to avenge them. He has some semblance of success. And things get weirder from there. If you're looking at this cover, you're probably saying, why is he in the modern world? Well, I guess the cover spoils where this ends up. He does end up in our world. It's not as simple as that, but the book was a lot of fun. It was really violent. Good Lord, is it violent. I like the setup. I like the usage of the panels where they used just really thick white lines to separate art, big splash pages so you focus on specific details in it. Deodato, I haven't seen violence like this from him in a very long time. I really enjoyed it. Not that it's, hey, violence. But, and Lemire is a great writer, and he goes all over the place. Sometimes he's very, like, sciencey and really thinky kind of story. This isn't one of those, but it is a well-written story and a good story. If you like Conan, you'll like this. If you like Berserk, the manga, you'll like this. It's just got a lot going on. It's kind of a simple story to start off, and you know it's going to get quite complex starting with issue 2. Check it out.
All right, guys. Next up, we have Batman issue number 76, City of Bane episode 2, or issue number 2, or whatever. I always say episode.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Issue number 2. We are starting to see more and more of the villains who don't want to be re-educated by Psycho Pirate and Batman or Thomas Wayne trying to run. And you see what happens when superheroes try to break the law and get into Gotham and kind of fix Gotham. Neither of which goes very, very well. And then you see Catwoman trying to basically fix our Batman to get him in. And it's such a messed up issue. It's such a messed up concept to have literally the inmates running the asylum, but on a grander scale of the inmates literally running Gotham City and kind of doing things right in a way. Whereas Gotham is now peaceful because all the people that typically would be terrorizing the city are now keeping the city safe. And it's a weird juxtaposition, but it's a really interesting read. Tom King does an amazing job, and Tony Daniel artwork is just beautiful. So definitely pick this one up.
All right, Paul, what could my pick of the week be?
I don't know. I'm completely lost.
It's Absolute Carnage, number 1. It is.
I was not expecting that.
I know you weren't. It's Donny Cates, who is amazing.
I mean,
so it
I know
shouldn't
he's
be
good.
Yeah, he's very good. This issue could nearly kill a man. It is quite heavy. It's $7.99. Just warning you about that price tag. Bring an extra couple nickels. But basically the story, and I haven't read a ton of the lead up to this. I did read the John Jameson Man-Wolf tie-in story, The Cult of Carnage. So I that helped me a little bit. Essentially, you're following Eddie Brock, who is with his son, who doesn't know he's his son. He thinks he's his brother. It's a whole convoluted thing where the symbiote kind of messed with him and his memories in the past. And he doesn't quite trust the symbiote, but he definitely needs it in this time where Carnage has come back as some sort of symbiote god. And he's trying to, you learn early on that there are small pieces of the symbiote left behind by everyone who's ever worn one. So Spider-Man has one, Brock has one, and Carnage is trying to collect all these little pieces to make him stronger and make him into more of a god. He's already crazy strong and like a weird zombie version of himself. It's very gross. So it's basically a Spider-Man, Eddie Brock, Venom team-up. They are attempting to get all these pieces from people without hurting them. And they recruit an unusual person to help them, which I loved. I kind of popped for who they went to. And their main focus is they want to test the machine, but they don't want to do it on somebody they love, like them. So they're like, well, let's just get some jerk who's been tied to the symbiote. Of course, they both pick Norman Osborn, who was recently the Red Goblin, and he is quite insane. He will remind you a little bit of the Joker, but he's just infected with Cletus Cassidy and his memories and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Ryan Stegman did a great job on the art. It's gross. I love how gross this book is. I love that I read a mainstream book that's a horror title. Just like Immortal Hulk is, it's also kind of like a horror title. This is worth its high dollar amount. It is broken into 3 chapters. It feels like you're reading something important. You don't feel like it's a waste. Hopefully all those tie-ins feel this way too. But as far as the main story, I'm on board. I think it's pretty good. And you should definitely check it out because Donny Cates is the next big thing. If you haven't figured it out by now, I think he's showing you right now. He's the next big thing.
What could my pick of the week be? It is Die issue number 6. The writing in this book is just absolutely amazing. The artwork is beautiful. You were dealing with the aftermath of the first arc where Soul and her people basically have killed the game master. But there's a twist. There are twists and rules that they did not understand going into with the game. And this is them trying to escape basic hell that they've created. And man, every issue is just so painful with dealing with each of these characters' regression into the game and dealing with all the unseen issues of a person who was very young playing a game and now coming back 30 years and dealing with all the problems that they basically ran from 30 years ago. This is definitely a fun read. If you are a D&D person, you have to be reading this. If you're looking for a brand new series, pick up the first trade, because I believe the first trade is out. And this is the first issue after that trade. So you shouldn't be able to miss anything. This is an amazing book. You should be reading it.
Alright guys, it's the end of the video. Paul really doesn't have anything to plug, but I do. I got all kinds of things to plug. I'm going to plug things. I'll be up at in Connecticut. Hooray, Connecticut. For Terrificon. So if you're up at Terrificon and you want to say, hey, Tim, I watch your videos, I'll be like, that's wonderful, I don't care. We could do that exchange if you like. And also some fun new podcasts coming your way. Pretty soon there will be the Great X Debate, where I argue with an X-Men fan of many years why the X-Men are terrible. So, it's going to be, we're going to debate it out like a real debate. It's going to be great.
So ragey.
It's not actually that bad. There's a lot of points and counterpoints, and I feel like this will be a piece that grows and grows, because I know not everyone agrees with me, but I want them to see my reasons, and I want them to argue those reasons with me and see if you can sway me. I'm not a monster. I'm a little bit of a monster. But don't worry about it, you know? It'll be okay. But yeah, that's coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Other than that, thanks for watching. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Go have a nice lunch. I don't know what time you're watching this. Hey, you do you. I'm leaving.